It's Thursday, May 2nd, 2019. My name is Bill McCamley. I'm the Secretary of the Workforce Solutions Department for the state of New Mexico, and this is your work update for the day. Three things I want to talk about today. The first is our organization is in charge of overseeing the unemployment offices throughout the state so that if you lose your job, there is a safety net for you to have a little bit of money to help you pay your mortgage, feed your kids, fix your car, whatever you're going to do until you get your next job. The last time a recession hit in 2008 and 2009, the program here took a pretty big beating. People were waiting online for hours and hours. There were apparently political cartoons of skeletons on the phone waiting to talk to the unemployment office. And it got fixed, and the unemployment office is now running pretty smoothly, which was shown by the 1,300 people that were federal employees that applied for unemployment in February. That got taken care of pretty well. But we need to make sure that we do what we can so when the next recession hits, and remember that's an if not when, that's a when not if scenario, we're working on it. So we're working on things on making sure that our new phone system, which is in the cloud rather than hard lines, works well. How do we make sure personnel get hired to take care of people when they call in if the recession hits, things like that. So we had our first task force meeting. We're going to be moving forward on that so that we're prepared when this comes down at some point, so we can help people as much as we can. The second thing I want to talk about was actually really fun last night. I was able to participate with a group of folks, including the Secretary of Education, Karen Trujillo, to give awards and recognition to STEM students in New Mexico who signed with a university for engineering, chemistry, biology, any kind of a science or math background. And you know, whenever you hear an athlete sign up for a school, say I'm going to play football or volleyball or whatever, there's these little ceremonies where you actually sign a little thing and you get a hat and all that. We did that with these students last night, 37 of them from the middle of New Mexico. The point is to hopefully do it statewide next year with the Air Force Research Labs, but to recognize them. And the reason is simple. If I'm an athlete in school, and athletics are great, love them, I played, they teach you a lot of wonderful things and it gets you out there learning teamwork and getting exercise, but 0.12% of high school athletes go pro in sports. Whereas if you major or pursue engineering, computer science, biology, chemistry, 100% of you will go get a really good job and help your community or your country get better. So it was great doing that recognition. Last thing is today, we had a little press conference, and we've been working on this for a few months, but wage theft is a pretty big problem here in the state. What is wage theft? It means if I'm working, I deserve to make a certain amount of money. I am legally required to make a certain amount of money, and that's either the minimum wage or there are other prevailing wage laws out there for work on public projects. And if I make overtime, I'm supposed to be making that. I'm not supposed to work without getting paid. We have over 1,000 complaints here in New Mexico from employees saying that they haven't been paid what they are owed. And so we are working on a couple of different things to help address this situation. The first is we had the president of the Association of Commerce and Industry, a representative from the statewide Chamber Executives Board, and the Restaurant Association here, and we've been working with them for the last couple of months trying to figure out what is the best way we can educate employers on what are the rules now, what are the rules going to be when the minimum wage goes up, and what are some of the best practices you can have in things like accounting, payrolls, things like that, so you pay your employees. We really think that most businesses mean well. They want to see their employees succeed. They want to see their communities do better, and they want to follow the law. So we're trying to figure out ways of doing webinars and in-person meetings to move that forward. We've got a couple webinars scheduled for May, and we'll be working with these business groups to make sure everyone who wants to get up on this can. The other thing we're going to be looking at, though, is as much as most businesses want to do this right, there's going to be some bad actors out there that want to take advantage of the system. We've got a few we're working with right now. We are going to work with district attorneys. We're going to work with cities who have minimum wage ordinances and their legal staffs. We're going to be working possibly with the Attorney General, the Secretary of State's office, to make sure that these things are followed. Governor Lujan Grisham believes very, very strongly that a fair day's work should receive a fair day's wage. And if you want to break that law, that is a crime, and we're going to enforce that. So these are the things that we're working on here. As always, if you have questions, comments, or concerns on these or any other issues, I'd love to answer them for you, and I hope everyone is having a lovely week. Thanks.